Welcome to another episode of I'm Dying to Tell You. This is Dr. Mark Goulston. Um, I may need to modify that because it looks like the treatments I'm going to be having will will push out a definitive treatment called bone marrow transplant, which might actually work 50% of the time. Uh, but I'm still going to stick with I'm dying to tell you, or because I'm probably going to be dying sooner than I thought. So I hope it still goes. Today, I wanted to talk to you about uh, how to connect with someone uh, who has an eating disorder. I was reminded of an anecdote from early in my career. I trained at UCLA in psychiatry, and that was one of the top treatment programs for eating disorders in its day. This is in the late 1970s, I think. Yeah, about that. And I was manning the emergency room one evening on a Saturday, and people would come in, and I'd be the psychiatrist on call. And on one Saturday, there was a young woman who came in who was really skeletal. And it was clear that she was going to have to go into the eating disorders inpatient unit because she was literally starving to death. And I saw her, uh, and there was no one waiting behind her, and I could have turned her over to the nurses, but I don't know, there was something about her that spoke to me. And when we were in training at UCLA, we learned a bunch of things. We learned medications, but we learned various therapies. We learned something called guided imagery, a little bit of hypnosis. And something moved me to try something with her. And so I asked her, um, I called up to the inpatient unit, and they said it'll take a little while to get the bed ready to admit her. So I was there in the that part of the emergency room, and I said, I'd like to try something and see if it might help you relax. And if it makes you nervous, just tell me not to do it. Are you okay? And she was kind of passive, compliant. She said, okay. And I said, put your legs up on the chair in front of you because I want you to relax and, and take some slow, deep breaths. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to count from 1 to 10. And when, we get to 8 or 9 or 10, I hopefully you'll feel that you're relaxed a little bit more, breathing slowly. And I guess I have a little bit of a boring / mesmerizing voice. And so and when we got to 10, I said, are you right-handed or left-handed? And she said, I'm right-handed. I said, I'd like to put your left hand on top of your stomach. Just rest it there. And I want you to feel the warmth of your left hand on your stomach. And I want you to imagine that that's the hand of the mom that you always wanted. And we're not here to beat up on your parents. They're going to find out all about your parents when you go upstairs. But I want you to just put your left hand on your stomach. As you're watching this, you may try this and you may find it helps you with anxiety or stress. And I want you to imagine that your mom is saying to you, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. And just breathe in slowly and imagine her saying, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. Now I'd like you to take your right hand and put it over your left hand, and that's the hand of the dad you always wanted. And I want you to imagine that your dad's right hand, in a very reassuring way, is over your mom's left hand. And what your dad is saying is, I'm here too, and we're going to be okay. And you're going to be okay. So I had her go back and forth, almost like a duet. Her mom saying with her left hand, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. And then with her right hand, her dad saying, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere, and we and you are going to be all right. And then I told her, just keep breathing in slowly and feel the left hand of your mom, the right hand of your dad, and just keep breathing in as you feel that. And as this happened, a little bit of a few tears rolled down from her eyes along the side of her face. And we did this for a while, and then I got a signal that they were going to come down because the bed was ready. And so at that point, I said, what we're going to do now is we're going to count backwards from 10 to 1. And you're going to keep your left hand and right hand on your stomach. And when we get down to 2, your eyes are going to flicker. They're going to open up. And then when we get down to 1 and 0, you're going to look around and you'll be back here. And you can remember everything we talked about, or you can remember nothing that we talked about. It really doesn't matter. But something that your body is going to remember is the left hand of your mom saying, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. And the right hand of your dad on top of your mom's hand saying, I'm here too, and we're all going to get through this. So we counted slowly back from 10 to 1, I think, not 0. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and her eyes started to kind of flicker open. 1, 0. And then at that point, her eyes were open and she was looking around. And that coincided with the people from one of the inpatient units coming down and saying, we're ready for her. And she got up and she looked at me. She seemed relaxed. And I reassured her. I said, you're going to get better. You're going to get through this. And you're going to have a good life. And I'll never forget, as she was leaving the room, she looked at me and she said, is the cafeteria open? I am starved. And I said, yep, I think we can get you some food. And then she went off to the cafeteria and then to go upstairs. I'll never forget that, because I think, what it taught me, something I actually learned from a friend of mine, Dr. Russell Kennedy. He has a great book out called Anxiety RX. And he says that the organs in our body hold on to stress. And when we were young and we felt stressed, it went into one of our organs, sometimes our stomach, sometimes our chest, sometimes our head or our neck, and it stays there. And so when we get older, and we feel stressed, we feel in those parts of our body. And I think what happened to this young woman is a lot of that stress she felt was connected to her stomach and her eating disorder. And so I think when we did this exercise, it allowed her to sort of release it. Instead of feeling tense, like she would have to not eat or go exercise obsessively, it somehow released it and relaxed it. So I hope this was helpful to you, and you can play it again and try the exercise and try imagining that the mom you always wanted and the dad you always wanted are providing you that comfort when you're stressed out or when you're trying to go to sleep. Give it a try and see how it works and let us know. So until the next episode, thanks for tuning in.